Hey there friends, Martin from Matthew's Studio coming to you once again from my backyard. It's a weird angle, but I think it's the best way to show you guys a couple knots. I'm going to go over two of the industry standard knots. Wearing shades because I'm staring up into the sky. Got my boots on because if I had on my normal flip-flops, I'd never hear the end of it. And here we go. Got this awesome shovel handle in between two center jaw Mathelinis of the black variety. Sleek, strong, like a ninja that will grab your stuff and just keep it there. And moving along to knots. First knot I'm going to go over is going to be your Clove hitch. I'm using multi-line because I really don't like hemp line. I don't like manila. It's splintery. It's not fun to work with. Multi-line, it's my favorite. A lot of times people will color code the end of their line so that you know how long it is. Maybe you'll say red is 25 footer, blue is 50 footer, yellow is 75 footer, and so on. That's not a standard coloring technique. That's just what people tend to do. They choose their own colors and they know those are the size of the lines that they're pulling off of the truck. I'm going to throw this guy right down there on the high leg of my C-stand. If I can keep my line out of the water, out of the muck, out of the dirt, it's better for the line. Not always the case, but if you can, do it. All right, here we're gonna, as I was saying, get into the Clove hitch. You're gonna take your first wrap over the rail. A lot of times people use this on a 12-by because they don't want that thing sliding back and forth. So you're going to take that first wrap and make a nice little loop. And then you're going to go right under there. Boom. Now you're holding the rail of that 12-by or the 8-by that's overhead, and the line's not going to slide back and forth. You're going to lock it in by making a knot, just a standard knot, right on top of there. And there you go. You've just locked that Clove right onto the rail. At this point, some guys will open it up, the line, the weaving of the line, and they will slide this guy through the tail so that the tail's not rattling around and threatening to loosen this knot. I don't really do that. It's just a preference. What I like to do is just do another knot right there, and you have two knots on your Clove. Good to go. Let's do it one more time. Once again, really useful for overheads when you're trying to do front lines and back lines to be able to safety an overhead frame in case the wind picks up or whatever. We're gonna take our first wrap, make a nice little loop, go underneath that loop, and then lock it off with a knot. And if you're Martin, you're not gonna split the line. You're gonna do one more knot. Boom. Just like so. You got two knots. You got the Clove. It's not going anywhere. Wah, wah, wah. Awesome. Staying in place. Really cool knot. Moving on to another knot. Totally different knot. Some people call it a bowline. Some people call it a Bowline. Tomato. It's an awesome knot. It's a good one to know. I learned it in the Webelos, the Boy Scouts, I suppose. And it came with a nice little story. You put the line over your rail, and then the end turns into your bunny rabbit. And the bunny rabbit's going to cross over the line and make a loop. You see that? He just made himself a home. How sweet is that? Let's do it one more time. He's going to go over the line, make a loop, and now you have a bunny who has a home. He's going to come out of that home. He's going to see his tree right here. He's going to go around the back of the tree, see a hawk, get scared, go back in, and boom, you have your bowline. There it is. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. And this time, instead of doing it on a railing or a banister where it can travel, I'll show you a different application. Really useful if you're going to be lowering gear, raising up gear onto a balcony, into a green bed, whatever that is that you're going to be doing. I'm going to make a smaller loop. Little bunny rabbit makes a little loop right there, or you can just start out with a loop like that. He's going to go through his home, go around the tree, go back into his home, and boom. Now I have a line, a loop, and bingo bango, a carabiner. What can we do with this? Something really cool. We're going to take a world-class apple box, Matthew's finest apple box in the industry, 9-ply Baltic birch, and check it out. You see in there, in the guts of this apple box, we have a brace right here for strength. And that brace also has handholds in it. Why? So you can drop a line all the way through. Let's see, it's kind of like a carnival game. Let's see if I can get it. And I got it. Yeah. So I'm going to flip this around, lock it off. If you want, you can close the gate. And then you're going to tell the guy up high, Hollywood, and he's going to pull it up. And you always make sure nobody is traveling beneath any path where you're lowering and raising gear. I don't care if you have the strongest line, the best knot, the most amazing carabiner, the strongest grip. Always make sure you're safe and never let anybody pass underneath the pathway of raising and lowering gear. Last little bit of advice here. We're going to take the carabiner off, loosen the gate, pull it right out of here. Simple as that. It's really not working with me. It looks like it got stuck in there. There we go. I'm going to remove my carabiner, which I could have done before I pulled it through the box, but hey, we're live. Not really. I'm just not editing. Oneers are tough, man. I'm going to take this knot out of my line. Why? Because you never take a line back to the truck with a knot in it. You need to make it pretty. You need to make it sexy. You got to make your lines beautiful. And what you're not going to do is start wrapping this thing around your arm. Super Bush League. You got to pay attention to the line. Give the line respect. When it was born in the factory of Ropeland, Rope-a-Palooza, wherever it comes from, it's given a memory. It remembers where it's from. And when you start looping it, it's going to show you exactly what it wants to do. You got to caress the line. You got to be gentle with the line. And you got to let it do its own thing, man. Just leave me alone, you know. That line just wants to be free and give its own loops right there. What I'm doing here is doing just even loops, nice, tidy loops all the way until you're almost to the end. And when you get close to that very end, you're going to make that last loop a little long. You see this last loop? It's going to be a little longer than all the other loops. Why? Because that's a loop that's going to go around the tree and around the tree once again. And then it's going to go through the hole and boom, you just tied up your line beautifully. Now you can take it back to the truck and say, here, best boy, here's that line that I borrowed. And he's going to say, wow, that's a great job, Grip. Way to go. Maybe I'll hire you again. Maybe I'll take you on to the big show. Who knows? That's why we're here, Matthew Studio, teaching you the tricks of the industry. Keep coming with the questions. Sorry I'm such a cheese ball, but this is what you get. Coming to you from my backyard, Matthew Studio. Take care of each other, guys, and keep the questions coming. Thanks so much for tuning in.